Hello everyone, good morning or good afternoon or good evening. My name is Debbie and welcome back to the Mind, Body, Soul Evolution. So I am on again talking about the gifts of intuition, of psychic abilities, of why I read tarot cards. And there's a reason for this video. So if you saw my other video, I did a video about my cousin who had passed tragically in an accident, and it was obviously a shock. I was in bed last night, and I remembered something I said in a previous video, and now I'm wondering, and you can by all means weigh in. I'm wondering if Spirit was talking to me or to the family as giving foresight to this situation. So let me go back. Both sides of my family are intuitive and psychic. My dad's side is extremely refined in their gifts. My dad's mother was a psychic. I do not call myself a psychic. I call myself an intuitive. She was a psychic. Her mother was a psychic. Her sister was a psychic. My dad's mother had a cousin named Ellis Parker. You can look him up. He was the chief of detectives in Burlington County. That's where I live in New Jersey. He was considered the Sherlock Holmes of the United States because of his ability to solve unsolvable cases. And that ability to solve these cases came from the psychic abilities of our family and from intuitive information that came through his mother to him to help solve cases. So my dad's side is very psychic. My mom's is very psychic and intuitive. They are not quite as refined. And I know if anyone sees this, they're going to get upset, but that is the truth. They get a little more cocky about it, where my dad's side sees it as a gift, and they understand the depth of the gift and the honor it is to have the gift. Now, a couple years ago, my dad's mother, she passed when I was 12. She came to me, and she just showed me the lineage of the women in the family who received the gift. And I was one of them. Again, I don't call myself psychic, I call myself intuitive. So there's a huge family history of abilities to tap in, to listen to the unheard, to see the unseen in the other world, and to know that there is a world beyond this physical world, that there is a veil that is extremely thin for us to tap into. And most people, and I think I've said this before, believe that there is, that we believe that our loved ones are still with us even after they pass, after their physical bodies in this world pass. So my dad's family has the ability to kind of tap into that. I don't always have that ability. It comes and it goes. But this is something inherently within me. It is something that has been given and gifted to me, and I would do it a disservice. And I would do a disservice to the family, to my ancestral lineage, if I didn't continue it. With that said, my cousin who passed, he's got two surviving brothers. One is a Capricorn, one is a Virgo. They have, before his passing on the other side, their mother had passed, and they have three sisters that had passed. Joanne, who passed as a baby, she was 4 months old, Susan, and another sister, Shirley. Now, why this is important. The one brother is a Virgo. His wife is on the other side. So when I was in bed last night, I kept remembering a reading that I did, and I looked it up this morning. It is the reading for the week of May 25th, 2026. And you can go back and you can view this. There is a timestamp, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. When I got to the Virgo reading, I was pulling cards and I hesitated. And you can see me kind of hesitating. And I said, for some of our Virgo followers, friends out there, you may be having experienced a loss. Now, I did say in the video, it could be somebody who's at the end stages of life. And that someone, a female, I got the intuition that a female from the other side is trying to get this message to you about somebody passing. And then on June 3rd was the accident. June 4th, Scott passed. So, was this his brother? His name is Bernie, who was the Virgo, whose wife is on the other side. So, was that Bernie's wife or their mother or sisters getting a message to them through me? And I did not realize that's what it was. To say that, like, this is happening, this is coming. And here's the thing. Spirit speaks to us in a lot of ways. Spirit is always speaking to us. Sometimes it speaks to us through the jobs that we do, and it gives us clues and hints and, you know, a path along the way. Of course, I should not say the job that we do. I don't consider this a job. I consider this something I get to do as a gift. So, but were they trying to tell me in their own way that there was going to be a passing in our own family? I find it unique that this came through in the Virgo reading, because the Virgo brother and I have been estranged since his wife passed away, and he chose to estrange from me, and without reason, and that's fine. It's heartbreaking, but I just kind of wonder what this means. And if anyone else feels like there was some kind of connection, like the other side is trying to connect and give information, or do you think this is just a fluke? Like, it just happened. Like, you had an inspiration, you read the cards, and this is what you said. I will say, when I read cards, I don't just read the face value of the card, right? I don't just read the face value of the card. More times than not, the cards are just a portal to open up to intuition and psychic abilities and loved ones on the other side, and that's how information comes in. And other times it's just reading the cards as they're laid out. I can't pick and choose how that comes across, but I'm interested to know, do you think, or do you feel that the other side was speaking, giving a very specific direct message through me to the family, to the brother, that, you know, there's going to be a passing? Or is it coincidence? At the end of the day, we get to believe what we believe. Whatever is innately within you, that's what you believe. I believe they're talking to me. They talk to me all the time. The Tuesday before the accident, the accident was on the 3rd. Tuesday was the 2nd. That was my mom's birthday. And this is on my dad's side of the family, not my mom's side of the family. But I had the inkling to go to the cemetery. My mom and dad are there. I visited them. And then my cousin who passed, Scott, his mom, his sister, and his baby brother are buried there as well. And I just stopped in to talk to them. And I just kind of said, you know, I really miss the family. I miss the one brother who's not speaking to me, and letting you know I still love you. And I hope, you know, I know that you're around. And then a couple of days later, you know, the next night was the accident, and then the day after was a passing. So Spirit is always speaking to you. Sometimes we can't figure it out, or we don't know. Maybe I'm a little more fortunate that it takes a while, but I can kind of put the pieces together, or connect the dots, or connect the stories. So if you want to understand what this means for you, what these intuitive things mean to you, you know, maybe reach out if you want me to do a video on that, or if you want to connect in a group setting, let me know. But Spirit is always speaking to us. So again, were they telling me, look, you know, this is going to be happening in an indirect way? Or was it just a fluke? Right? Was it just a fluke? And I will say, this pendulum here, which I keep on my shelf all the time, the Virgo brother, whose wife passed, this is her pendulum. He gave this to me when she passed. Then it was a couple months, or I don't know, sometime after he stopped talking to me, but this is her pendulum. And I keep it with me. Rose quartz in here. And I just keep it here all the time. So, Spirit speaks to everyone. Listen, pay attention. And if you don't know what they're trying to say, maybe you don't need to know right away. Things come in puzzles and pieces, right? So tune in, listen in. If you have any questions about this, let me know. I would really like to know your thoughts or opinions on this. Either way, if I'm crazy, you go, no, that was not what it was. That's not what that was meant to say. But go back if you want. The reading for the week of May 25th of this year for Virgo. Go in and just listen to that. I could be wrong, but I also know that Spirit was with me all the time, always giving me clues and messages. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will be back on soon. Until next time, I send you light and love.